Once you've scheduled your webinar, at the bottom, you'll find the various sections where you can then customize your webinar further. First, we're going to take a look at invitations. Under this section, this is where you can invite your panelists. You can import from CSV if you're adding a lot of panelists. Otherwise, go ahead and click Edit. Here, you'll enter the name of the person that is going to be a panelist. So we're just going to say guest speaker. And you'll enter their email address here. If you need to add more panelists, you can, of course, do so here. And down here at the bottom, you can choose whether they're going to get their panelists link now or they'll get it later. Please note, anyone can be a panelist. They do not have to be part of your account. They do not have to have a Zoom account. And each panelist that you invite will get a join link that is unique to them. So we're going to uncheck that and click Save. If for some reason I need to edit, I can always remove a panelist from here as well. I can resend their panelist link or I can copy it. Now here we have our invite attendees section. Since this particular webinar is going to require registration, here we have our registration link. You can copy an invitation that you can use to paste into an email and send that out to you, people that you would like to invite to your webinar. And then here we have our source tracking links. This allows you to create a different link to the same registration page so that you can track which sources gave you more registrants or more visitation. So for example, if we're going to market our webinar here on Facebook, and let's say we're going to do it on Twitter, and let's say just LinkedIn. Okay, so I'll be able to see how many visitors and how many registrations I got through each source. And that way, basically, I can know after the end of that webinar, how successful was that particular source. Now, here we have our registration settings. And what we're going to do now is click Edit. Okay, registration is required. I can choose to automatically approve all registrations, or I could choose to manually approve. So that means the host of the webinar will need to go in and approve registrations. I can choose to send an email to the host when someone registers. Note, if you have 5,000 registrations, then you will get 5,000 emails. Additional options that we see here is we can close the registration after the event date. Now, depending on your webinar capacity, you may want to restrict the number of registrants. So for example, maybe you have a webinar 5,000, but for a particular event, you don't want that many people registering. I can say, let's limit it down to just 250. Next, allow attendees to join from multiple devices. This means that an attendee can use the same link that they receive to join from various devices. So they may join from their phone as well as their laptop. This also means that if they share their link, then everyone else can also join the webinar. So if you want to make sure that you can discourage people from sharing their link, then go ahead and uncheck the option to allow attendees to join from multiple devices. When this is unchecked, it's basically a first come, first serve approach. So the link can only be used once concurrently. By default, you can show your social share buttons on the registration page. If you don't want people sharing through social media, then go ahead and uncheck those. Up here, we have questions. Okay, these are available or what will appear on the registration page. You can choose which fields appear as well as whether they are required or not. Now, maybe you don't see the one that you want to ask here. You can also do custom questions. And we're going to enter a new question. And you can choose from short answer, so they fill in a text box, a single answer, where they can choose it from a radio button or a drop-down list, and then multiple answers, they would check off through check boxes all the answers that may apply. When you've added new questions, be sure to save all. And then lastly, down here, you can manage your attendees. So you can see who's registered. If you're doing manual approval, this is where you would go to approve or deny a registration. If you have a webinar and it is a single occurrence, so it is a non-recurring webinar, you can import your registrants from a CSV file. Note, if it is recurring, this option does not appear. And if we click edit here, we can take a quick look. This is where you'll see the approved list and then, of course, the denied and blocked list. If you do cancel someone's registration, they will receive an email letting them know that the registration has been canceled.